Hey, it's Dr. Kate Walker. Welcome. I am getting my shit together. It's not always easy on a Thursday morning. I'm not going to lie to you. So I'm going to share my screen this morning because I think it's going to be really helpful when we talk about ways to make your website better. 3 ways to make your website better. And I like doing that every Thursday 30 because I really do want you to leave with something that's going to help your practice today. Not only that, I want something that's going to help people hurting connect with you because that's why you went into this business. You have the ability to provide healing to folks who need it. And so it's really important when we talk about in January marketing, right? What is that? Is it salesy? Is it acting like a car salesman? Is it kind of being, I always use the word smarmy, right? You're just kind of like trying to get people to come and see you, and it can feel really weird. So I don't want you to think that that's what we're talking about, because when you have a toothache, do you get pissed off when you find your dentist's business card on your counter? Of course not. Do you get pissed off when you Google dentist in my area and your favorite dentist pops up and there's the phone number? Of course not. And that's why it's important that you remove yourself from this idea that somehow you're bothering people when you market to them. So I'm assuming you're here because you want to grow your practice. I'm assuming that you're here because you know you're too important to lose because you don't know how to market, and then you go out of business because you don't have any clients and it's terrible and it's awful. No, we need you. So before we get going, my favorite part of the day, I'm going to say hello to 14 new badasses who are ready to take their practice or their potential practice up to badass. So let's welcome Heather Ann Gonzalez, Jessica Tonstad, C. Woodard Law, Molly Bain Crenshaw, Daryl Ross, Amy Rhodes, Gina Maples Regino, Lindsay Britt Letton, Lauren Decker, Aubrey Juvet, Rich Houston, Sasha Annalisa, Gabemi Adekoya, Celeste Johnson. Now let's get to work. Let's talk about 3 things you can change in your website today. Now, this brings up an issue. If you don't have access to your back office, go to my YouTube channel after this broadcast and find out how to do that. Not having access to your back office is like saying, well, I hire somebody to clean my kitchen and he locks it up when he leaves and I don't ever get to go back in. It's like, wait a second, that's your kitchen, right? You got to get in there. You got to be able to do stuff and make stuff and be creative. There are so many ways to make your website amazing besides the tools and tricks that they give you, like WordPress and Squarespace and GoDaddy and all the things. So there are wonderful new things that we're talking about. I've got a new group called Step It Up. Step It Up is coming soon, and we're going to talk about how to use things like lead pages, how to use Canva to make beautiful opt-ins, how to make sure that you're using HIPAA compliant email to send out marketing blasts to potential clients. It's really, really good stuff, and I hope you guys all join me. So also, don't forget, this Monday, Craig Alsup's going to talk even more about marketing, but he's going to make it easy for us. Tickets are only $25. I will put the link down here once the broadcast is over. For you supervisors out there, don't forget Dr. Catherine Bacon is our guest speaker in Texas Supervisor Training monthly consultation group coming January 31st. So if you're an LPC associate or an LMFT associate and your supervisor is not coming to these groups, they may not know what you think they know or what they need to know. So tug on their shirt and say, hey, get your butts over to the Texas Supervisor Training consultation group. Tickets, again, only $25. I will put the link in once we finish the broadcast. So I will also, coming up in February, we're going to do something called Share the Love. We're going to dive deep into how social media will help your practice grow, how to use social media ethically, how to do things like share others' posts, share others' blogs, share content, create content, optimize it for search engines, all the things coming in February. And I will have the practice grant giveaway. Remember, we've got $500 to give away for someone who's starting in private practice or who's established a private practice. Also, how many of you know how to get a Google review? All right, I'm going to show you how to do that. How many of you know what to do when you get a bad Google review? I'm going to show you what to do with that as well. But today is all about how to make your service marketable. Okay. When you have a service, you're selling the invisible, right? It's not like you're selling a toothbrush or you're selling a shoe. You're literally selling something that's obvious to you, but maybe not so obvious to everyone else. So I use dentists as an example because that's one of the things, like, we all have teeth. And we're all pretty acculturated to the idea that the person who can fix our teeth is called a dentist, right? Not so much with mental health, right? With mental health, we may have sadness or depression or fear, and we think, oh, I just need a vodka tonic. Or, you know what? If I go run 5 miles, I'm going to feel much better. Or if I go to my yoga studio and meditate, and all of that, well, most of those things, those are pretty good, right? They'll help for the most part. So when something is persistent, it's pervasive, it affects your job, your relationships, your health, your freedom, that's where we come in. So how do you start to explain to a potential client or to friends and family who eventually become your marketing team how it is that you help? I know I've got grad students watching this and their families going, oh, that's so great. You're going to go be a psychiatrist. And can I have some medication? It's like, no, that's not what I do. Oh, you're going to be the guy that puts people on the couch. No, that's not what I do. Oh, okay. Well, what is it that you do exactly? Crickets, right? Unless you can say that I do X, Y, and Z so that PD and Q will happen, right? And we're running into a problem, especially with the No Surprises Act. I've seen so many threads about how do we prepare our customers, our clients, for future charges? How do we justify, yeah, you came to see me, but I'm going to need to see you 10 more times. What? How do we tell them that's what we need? So what I'm talking about today are things that you can change on your website so that the potential client knows exactly what they're getting and why they're getting it and why they should pick you. Remember, you're not competing with other counselors. You're competing with nothing, right? Your client can choose to come see you or do nothing. So that's your competition, is inaction, right? So imagine that you're going to your dentist's website and your dentist is just talking and talking and talking about themselves. I'm so wonderful. I went to this university. I have this kind of training. Well, that's great if you're just looking for somebody to do your 6-month cleaning, right? But if you're sitting there with a toothache, you're like, that's great and everything, but can you get me in today? Right? So first thing to change on your website is look at the language. Look at how much of that initial page is devoted to you. Now, I think everybody should have a fabulous headshot. I think it's important for clients to emotionally connect with you. But a lot of us are assuming that they're going to read our story and that's how they'll emotionally connect. And that's so I'm not going to draw you a pie chart here. So yeah, I'm sure there is a certain number of client or a certain demographic of client that's going to shop for a counselor, kind of like the same way they shop for a dog groomer or a pediodontist for their kid or where to go buy a tuxedo for a wedding, right? You're going to shop when you have time and you're paying on a scale of 0 to 10, where 10 is extreme, is about a 3, right? Those are the clients who will shop. And if that's your demographic, bless you. We'll talk about that in another video. I'm talking about how to connect with people who need you today. So they're paying on a scale of 0 to 10 is about an 8. And they have to find somebody because you do what they need, right? Less about you, more about them. Less about what I have and I can do, and more about this is what you'll get. So if I have any teachers out there, this is the difference between writing objectives and writing outcomes, right? I can have an objective of teaching you how to play the violin. I don't know if that's what the outcome's going to be, though, right? I can be the best teacher on the planet. You're going to be a crappy violinist. I don't know. But what I can tell you is that I will teach you how to hold a bow. I will teach you how to play a scale, and I will teach you how to hold your violin. What you can expect are lessons weekly with me. You can expect to have homework assignments. and you can expect to be challenged weekly on how to play your violin. Now, when you're trying to explain to your client, that's what you're doing on your website. Here's what you can expect. You can expect at the first session, I'm going to ask you a lot of questions. I'm probably going to give you homework to do. In the second section, we're going to course correct based on your feedback from the homework, even if you didn't do the homework. So by the third session, you're going to know if working with me is a good fit, and you'll have some coping tools and resources. So no matter what, after 3 sessions, this is what you will get from me. If you made that change, that one change on your website today, I guarantee you, you would have at least 5 more phone calls next week, because people connect when you tell them what to expect. All right. Now, the next thing I want you to change is this idea of having a contact form on your website, an email contact form, right? Email contact form, that's rocks off the Grand Canyon, right? I'm going to throw a rock. I can't hear it. No, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and try somebody else because I never heard the rock hit the bottom. So if you're still with a website that has a contact form, go in today and trash it. You do not need an email contact form. If you're having that much trouble corralling all the people who are banging on your door needing your services, you need to hire somebody to answer the phone, right? Do you want to send a contact form into your dentist when you have a toothache? No, you're going to keep calling and calling and calling different people in town until you find somebody that can get you in. So do you have a phone number? All right, that's fine. That's second best, right? You know, I mean, I'm all about having a phone number in your first eye gaze on your website, but hands down, the most reliable thing to have on your website to make sure a client connects with you is a scheduling widget. Is a way for them to connect with you using a 10-minute consultation so that they can talk to a real person. Unless you can afford to hire somebody. If you can afford to hire somebody to answer your phone at all times, then you have to have that scheduling widget. So allowing the client to connect with you immediately, right? That's going to help you then go through your 10-minute consultation speech where you will, guess what? Spoiler alert, I already talked about this. Explain to the client exactly what it is they will get in session 1, what they'll get in session 2, what they'll get in session 3. So now we've got 2 ways of selling the invisible. We have your website, we have the verbiage. Now we have the phone call, right? The stuff, this is what's going to come out of your mouth, and this is how you're going to explain to potential clients what they will get. So finally, what I want to do is I want to show you an actual website. And this is was my dentist. He's not my dentist anymore because I moved, but I love him. So if you live in the Woodlands, Texas, go to him because he's amazing. This is Dr. Nellis in the Woodlands, Texas. And I tell you what I love about this. He doesn't mess around. Yes, he has some pretty smiles there, and I'm sure they're stock photos because dentists have to follow HIPAA too. But who knows? They may be patients. I don't see myself there, but that's okay. So, but I imagine it's a stock photo. What's he showing? He's showing results. He's not showing pictures of his diploma. He's not showing photographs of his beautiful office. How many of you keep showing pictures of your beautiful office? Yes, some of you have gorgeous offices, right? But remember, your client is in a space where they're wondering what better looks like. Those of you who are solution focused like me, if you had a magic wand, what would better look like? Right? So if better looks like your office, I know Amanda Esquivel has created an entire business based on her room for change and creating this space. And if you want to see how to do it right, go to her website. But some of you are showing office space because I think you've just run out of stuff to show, or you're afraid to show yourself, or you're not sure what to do. And that's okay. I mean, that's why we're here. But imagine if you could show on your website how you might look if you were happy again. All right. So Dr. Nellis has his navigation bar kind of stacked on top of each other. He gets it really trying to, you notice how your view is drawn to these photos of pretty teeth, right? The outcome. It's this is what I'll get, not this is what he does. Now, if I was critiquing Dr. Nellis, I might say, hey, Dr. Nellis, you need to put your phone number in the first eye gaze, but I'll go with patient portal and patient forums. So if you click the patient portal, it's going to take me to a login, which again, he's got his phone number, contact information here. If I keep going here, you see reviews. Now, this is something that counselors shy away from, and ethically, it's really gray. So in February, I'm going to show you how to use outcome-based client, real client feedback ethically in a review to show folks that you do a good job, right? There is a way to use reviews ethically. Those of you who do side gigs, you guys could actually incorporate some of those reviews as well, but you have to know how to get them. You have to know how to use them, and you have to follow the rules. So there's an ethical way to gather reviews, but you see how Dr. Nellis starts with the outcome. This is what you'll get. And it's emotional because it's photography, it's pictures, right? I'm getting a feeling. Then he's going to make me read about how glad they are that I'm there, and then what other people have experienced. And if I keep scrolling, I get to find out how to contact him. And he must have read the Big Pumpkin, because he's going to put dental implants right in front of me, just because that's probably a big ticket item that he sells, and he wants me to know that he specializes in. He's not going to give me 45,000 things. He's going to show me, oh, by the way, if you're looking for dental implants, I'm your guy. So look at your own local dentist. I'm going to stop sharing for a second. And oh, I did want to show you one more thing. So when I Googled Dr. Nellis, I thought this was kind of cool. He has his name, and he's changed his practice to the Woodlands Dentist. So many of you, I love this idea. You changed your name, your contact, your Google, whatever, to the town that you're in. That's wonderful. But don't forget your name. I know some of you have the most fascinating, creative practice names I've ever heard. I love the names of your practices. Always include your name with it, because again, it's not about you. It's about your client. If they were at a meeting, if they were at a PTO speech, if they were talking with the school counselor, and the person that they were listening to, talking to, said, oh, yeah, what's her name? Jane Smith. Well, they won't know to go look for your practice name. They're going to start Googling Jane Smith, counselor, their town. So whenever you're working with Google, whenever you're working with SEO, search engine optimization, you want to think like the client. They got your name, so give them your name, right? Don't just push out this lovely practice name just because you thought it was super cool, right? So look at Dr. Nellis, look at your personal dentist, your favorite dentist. I'm going to stop sharing. And remember, in February, I'm going to take you all on a journey through sharing the love through social media, search engine optimization, sharing each other's content. We're going to go on a Google review bonanza, learning how to get Google reviews, fix Google reviews, and help our clients shout from the rooftops how amazing we are, right? And then, of course, we've got the practice grant giveaway. That's thanks to all of you generous folks in Zoom the Rules who donated your $3. Kate Walker Training was able to match that. Don't forget, too, we've got the Step It Up group coming soon. Step It Up is going to be for those of you who are ready to take it to the next level. It's going to be more stuff, more experts, more Q&A, more time with me. Lots and lots of stuff coming soon. So look in the, I got it point correctly. It's going to be in the thread. If you have anything you want to make sure that I cover next week, we're going to cover some more marketing next week, talking, remember this month is about cash-based practices, finding your why, selling the invisible. Remember, it's not obvious to potential clients what we do. I think some of them think I can read their minds, or I know voodoo or something like that. They really, really don't know why counseling is better than meditation. Why is counseling as good as taking a jog? Why is counseling why does it result in more long-lasting benefit than a gin and tonic, right? So you have to remember you're selling something invisible, and it's not obvious to your potential clients why our voodoo works the way it works. And you've got to let them know that. So less about you and more about what it is that you do and what your clients will get. So yeah, put into the thread, please, anything that you want me to cover in February when we share the love. One more week in January of marketing. And I will see you guys next Thursday. Have a beautiful day.